Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video right from the bright and sunny, no, I'm actually lying, it's raining, Amsterdam right now. And today we have an update on actually not the SEC but Flare, because that's my main topic of today, giving you guys a little bit of a rundown as to what's going to be going on, and only if we haven't talked for more than 10 minutes or 12 minutes or so, I will talk about the SEC. Otherwise, that's going to be a separate video. So, for all of you that do not know, if you held XRP before December 12th of 2020, you're going to be getting some FLR for free. It's just a new crypto that's going to be released in a couple of days, weeks, something like that. And again, you're going to be given it for completely free. However, right now, there's a little bit of a question about the distribution, as the original idea was to give 15% at the start of this free airdrop, and then 3% or about 2 to 4% every month from then on forward. However, in the US, you have to pay tax every time you get an airdrop like that, and the difficult part is that if you get a 2 to 4% every month, then that means every time you get something, you're going to have to sell some for your tax, and that creates a constant selling pressure that the network and other people think is extremely cumbersome. But that we're going to be talking about here. Guys, if you are enjoying these daily crypto videos or you just want to help out, make sure you press the like button. I always recommend people to subscribe to the channel too with the notification bell, just so you're notified every single time that something happens. And just guys, I try my best to make these updates as good as possible, so just make sure you, again, help out the channel a little bit too. All right, so here was a proposal. Applying governance to the Spark distribution. This update was posted on, I'm not sure exactly what date it was, but it basically goes over a couple of proposals to the distribution of FLR. Why? Well, like I just explained, there were a couple of different US, difficulties. Let's quickly go over the proposal. It's only going to take like 2 minutes. There have been a numerous of questions regarding the tax implications of the Spark FLR distribution in various jurisdictions. Specifically, there is a concern that due to the Spark token becoming priced subsequent to the launch of the mainnet, that the long-term distribution of 3% per month, but not the initial distribution of 50%, could be considered as income for tax purposes. Various parties claiming authority on the subject matter, predominantly from a US perspective, have given publicly widely differing opinions. And as follows of the Flare block will know, the purpose of the lengthy distribution is to make sure that liquidity aligns with the most efficient economic functions of the FTSO and F-Assets protocol. At Flare, we have commissioned research and advice into US tax implications by a respected tax scholar. This research has resulted in the distribution option 1, which is given below, which involves the recipient burning a small amount of Spark to buy the remaining distribution, which was briefly discussed by Hugo, Flare's co-founder, in a recent conversation. This option will not be implemented by default, but will be brought to governance vote as discussed below. With regards to or any other potential option, a number of considerations that need to be taken into account are, but not limited to, the size of the impact of the existing plan of the ecosystem, i.e. the number of people and quantity of Spark that the existing plan without the burn mechanism affects, the veracity and perceived veracity of any legal advice received by Flare and the opinions of experts that have been put forward, the perception of Spark recipients. Quantifying these factors at this early point is an impossible task, but thankfully, there's a way to understand what the recipients of Spark tokens feel about the various options, and that is to put the distribution decision directly into the hands of Flare token holders through Flare governance. And the distribution will be set up as follows. At the outset, 15% of the total distribution of 100 billion Spark will be made. There will be a maximum of 5-month period whereby the community can come to consensus over at least 3 possible governance proposals outlined below, or any other option put forward by governance. 3, if no new option wins the distribution, will continue as was planned from month 6, as previously defined at 3% of the initial 100 billion. And then here are 3 options that Flare put up. By the way, guys, let me quickly tell you, this has all been withdrawn, basically meaning none of the options talked about here are going through, but there's a huge debate about that, and so I think it's worth it to just quickly cover what the ideas were. We're not going to go into exactly how you should vote or how exactly that works. We're just going to go quickly over what the proposals were. Option 1, buy through burn. This option is based on the legal research commissioned by Flare. A recipient of Spark would receive the initial 15% as previously detailed at the inception of the network. The recipient would then optionally burn a small percentage of their Flare tokens in order to buy the remaining distribution. The remaining distribution would then occur at 3% per month from month 6. The Legal Research Commission argues that the remaining distribution would then have been purchased and thus subject to capital gains tax upon sale instead of income tax upon receipt. A full governance proposal for this will be drafted and released together with the legal memo upon which the proposal will be based. That's number 1. Number 2 is distribution halt. This option would halt any further distributions. The remaining 85 billion Flare would not come into existence, and this would turn the initial 15 billion FLR into the total distribution, basically burning 85 billion FLR, never making it into existence. So basically it being a one-time drop, one-time thing. And option number 3 is basically go on with the original plan, which is the option would be retain the 15 billion initial distribution with 3 billion FLR every month subsequently from the point of the successful vote. Full governance proposals for these options will be drafted and it will come out. However, that didn't really turn out to be necessary because, well, it's been withdrawn. Why? Well, one of the things I saw over on Twitter was the co-founder saying, I made a huge mistake invoking governance over the distribution. I am canceling the proposals. The distribution will remain 15% and then 3% per month. If tax creates sell pressure, then a governance proposal can be submitted by the community to curtail the distribution. People who are concerned about tax will be able to opt out of the 3% monthly distributions, and make sure you are aware of your responsibilities to pay tax in each of your countries. Basically meaning, this is actually a big FU to the face, partially. Then again, it's also we're not going to come out of this one because it's too extremely difficult, so let's go with the original plan and let's not deviate. Why? Hear me out. He basically gave a easy way out for himself and the whole network, because going for any different strategy would make some people happy, some people extremely, extremely angry, and might compromise the entire plan that they had and make some extreme tax nightmares if they change anything. That's possible. But the way they have it now, they're basically saying, all right, you can get 15% from the start, which is easy, and then from that point on forward, you can get 3%, but if you don't want the 3%, just don't accept it. That's all. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, right? Because he's saying you can opt out of 3% monthly distributions, but that doesn't really seem like a fair deal. I mean, the whole problem you would kind of think about is that those guys want the extra income, but since they have to pay so much of it, it's not worth it. It's just annoying. I don't. It's such a weird one, right? Because a lot of people right now in the comment section have gone really berserk. Some people have supported it. Some people have said it's a really bad idea. But one thing I saw right here was Anthony Portilla, who replied to Flare. That was some huge thunder. Holy smokes. You guys hear that right now? I'm not sure if the microphone picks it up actually, but that was huge. Wow. This thing is getting overly complicated is what Arturo said. He is, by the way, opinions are my own, Mexican tax and fintech lawyer. We already voted to receive 100% of the tokens, message key signing on the XBL, so they already did the voting, which again, we did not cover how to because it's not relevant anymore. Distribute the entire 100 billion supply on day 1. Get rid of the tax concerns and accept the fact that markets will do whatever they want. So why is it not happening, right? Again, that's a little bit of a question. Well, again, all 3 options were heavily voted upon, but all right. John Deaton said, I am fairly straightforward thinking person and believes 9 out of 10 times we made things more complicated than necessary. Thus, I say what this guy says, which is just co-signing Arturo Portilla. And David Swartz also said, that was my advice. Delayed granting means more overhang and continuous selling pressure, which a lot of people will agree with. But the situation as it currently stands is nothing has changed from the original plan. People are really divided about it, and as of this point, we do not yet know when exactly it'll come out. It could be a couple of days, could be a couple of weeks. It is extremely difficult to say exactly when. If something changes, though, I will definitely tell you. And I do think that somebody like Crypto Airy will soon get a little bit of a back and forward going. I'm not exactly sure. But oh my days, has this been an entire just back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. It's been really funny to a certain degree, really sad from a different one. He's been getting such a huge amount of attention and hatred a couple of days ago, or a couple of hours ago, I should say, because it's only been like a day and a half, for basically putting up an idea/proposal. He said, this is originally, my thoughts on distributing governance are A, it's unknown how many people would be affected by it. It is a very large amount of recipients that would have a large effect in the ecosystem. It's just basically all that we said before in the entire Flare poster, basically. Just that it all depends on everything. It's such a dependent thing. It's so difficult. He put up the different options. It's hard, right? It's really, really hard. And I'm going to cut him some slack saying, hey, you are right, Hugo. Whatever option you choose to change it towards, there will always be people hating. A ton of people won't care. A ton of people don't know. And I'm not exactly sure why they're not changing and why he said it's a huge mistake, but this is currently the situation as it stands, and now you know, all right? So, again, how is it going to be going? It's going to be 15% from the start, 3% every single month from then on forward. And how's the tax going to work? You check it out for your local jurisdiction, but as it currently stands, it seems to be income tax for some of those 3%ers, right? At least that's what we kind of got the hang of right now. But I'm not in the U.S., so I'm not sure exactly how it works over there. But that's, again, what I've kind of received from reading all these papers. The rain is picking up itself quite heavily. I'm going to end the episode right here. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, though. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And we'll see each other again in another crypto video, most likely later today or maybe tomorrow. Who exactly knows, right? It's been a crazy day. A ton of news is going around, and I keep seeing flashes everywhere. It's a thunder. It's a it's a storm.